Hey there, friends, and welcome to the Zen Pulse channel. This is your go-to place for diving into the world of Eastern philosophy, finding inner peace, and exploring ideas that help us live more mindfully. Today, we've got a special video lined up for you, all about the basics of Buddhism, a timeless tradition that can shift how you see life. If you're new to this topic, don't worry. We'll break it down in a simple, approachable way. So, let's embark on this fascinating journey into the world of Buddhism. Buddhism is an ancient philosophy and spiritual tradition that began over 2,500 years ago in India and has since spread across the globe, including modern-day America. For many Westerners, Buddhism feels mysterious, yet intriguing, thanks to its ideas about inner peace, mindfulness, and freedom from suffering. This video is designed for those just starting to explore Buddhism, explaining its core principles in a clear and relatable way. We'll cover what Buddhism is, its foundational teachings, how it can apply to everyday life, and why its ideas remain relevant for people today. What is Buddhism? Buddhism isn't just a religion in the traditional sense. It's more of a philosophy and practice focused on understanding the nature of the mind and reality. Its founder, Siddhartha Gautama, is known as the Buddha, meaning the awakened one. He wasn't a god or a supernatural being, but an ordinary person who, through deep reflection and meditation, attained enlightenment, a state of complete awareness and liberation from suffering. Siddhartha was born around 563 BCE into a wealthy family in northern India. Despite a life of luxury and comfort, he realized that life is full of suffering. Aging, illness, and death are inevitable for everyone. At 29, he left his palace to seek answers to the question, how can we overcome suffering? After 6 years of asceticism and meditation under a Bodhi tree, he achieved enlightenment and began sharing his teachings, which became the foundation of Buddhism. Buddhism doesn't require belief in a god or strict adherence to dogma. Instead, it offers a practical path to understanding yourself and the world through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. This makes it especially appealing to people searching for meaning in life without being tied to religious traditions. The Four Noble Truths, the core of Buddhism. At the heart of Buddhism are the Four Noble Truths, which the Buddha formulated after his enlightenment. They're like a diagnosis and prescription for addressing human suffering. The truth of suffering, dukkha. Life is inherently tied to suffering. This doesn't mean every moment is painful, but suffering shows up in various forms. Physical pain, emotional struggles, loss of loved ones, dissatisfaction, or a sense of emptiness. Even happy moments are fleeting, and their end can lead to disappointment. For Americans used to a culture of consumption and chasing instant happiness, this idea might seem grim, but it encourages facing reality head-on. Suffering is part of the human experience. The truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. Suffering arises from attachment and ignorance. We chase things that are temporary, money, status, relationships, clinging to them in hopes they'll bring lasting happiness. But everything in the world is impermanent, and this attachment breeds disappointment. In today's world, this is like endlessly chasing the latest gadgets, social media likes, or an idealized life that feels within reach, but keeps slipping away. The truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. The good news, suffering can be overcome. Enlightenment, or nirvana, is a state where one is free from attachments and ignorance. This doesn't mean life becomes perfect, but you find inner peace and stop being a slave to your desires. For Americans, this can feel like the freedom of no longer relying on external circumstances for happiness. The truth of the path to ending suffering, magga. The Buddha offered a practical path to liberation, the Noble Eightfold Path. It's not a rigid dogma, but a guide to living that fosters mindfulness, ethical behavior, and wisdom. This path is universal and can be adapted to any culture, including American life. The Noble Eightfold Path, a guide to living. The Noble Eightfold Path is a practical framework for living mindfully and harmoniously. It consists of 8 interconnected aspects, grouped into 3 categories: wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Wisdom, right understanding. This is about grasping the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality. For example, recognizing that everything in life is temporary helps you let go of clinging to material things or expectations. In an American context, this might mean rethinking the pursuit of the American dream. Instead of endlessly chasing success, you start appreciating what you already have. Right intention. Intentions shape our actions. Buddhism encourages cultivating intentions rooted in compassion, kindness, and non-harm. This means letting go of selfishness, anger, or envy. For instance, instead of feeling jealous of a coworker's promotion, you can wish them well and focus on your own path. Ethical conduct. Right speech. Buddhism teaches speaking truthfully but kindly, avoiding gossip, lies, harsh words, or idle chatter. In American culture, where social media can be filled with negative comments, practicing right speech can help build kinder relationships. Right action. This involves actions that don't harm others. Buddhism promotes nonviolence, honesty, and respect for others' property. For example, this could mean choosing not to engage in small acts of deception or behaviors that harm the environment. Right livelihood. Earn a living in a way that doesn't cause harm. Buddhism advises against careers tied to exploitation, violence, or deceit. For Americans, this might prompt reflection on how their job impacts the world. Does it align with ethical or environmental values? Mental discipline. Right effort. This is about working on your mind, fostering positive thoughts, and letting go of negative ones. For example, instead of dwelling on resentment, you consciously shift your focus to gratitude or kindness. Right. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to be fully present in the moment. In America, mindfulness has gained popularity thanks to Buddhism, showing up in offices and schools. It can be as simple as focusing on your breath or noticing the taste of your food during lunch. Right concentration. This involves developing the ability to focus the mind, often through meditation. Concentration helps calm the monkey mind, the term Buddhists use for the restless, scattered thoughts that distract us. For Americans living in a world of multitasking and information overload, this is especially relevant. Key concepts in Buddhism. Beyond the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, several other ideas help us understand Buddhism. Karma is the law of cause and effect. Your actions, words, and thoughts create consequences that shape your life and future circumstances. Kind actions lead to positive outcomes, while harmful ones lead to suffering. It's not about punishment or reward, but a natural process. For example, if you consistently help others, you may notice people treating you with greater kindness. Impermanence. Anicca. Everything in the world is temporary. People, things, emotions. Embracing this idea helps you let go of clinging to what fades and appreciate the present moment. For Americans who often crave stability, this concept can be liberating. Instead of fearing change, you learn to accept it. Know self. Anatta. Buddhism teaches that there's no fixed, unchanging self. We are a collection of thoughts, emotions, and experiences that are constantly changing. This idea can be challenging for Westerners who value individuality, but it helps reduce ego and feelings of superiority. Compassion. Karuna. Compassion is the heart of Buddhism. It starts with kindness toward yourself and extends to all living beings. The practice of metta, or loving kindness meditation, involves wishing happiness for yourself, loved ones, strangers, and even those you don't like. It's a powerful tool for building harmonious relationships. Buddhism in everyday life. Buddhism is not just a philosophy, but a practice you can weave into modern life. Here are a few ways to do it. Meditation. Start with 5 to 10 minutes a day, focusing on your breath. This calms the mind and helps manage stress. Apps like Headspace or calm often draw on Buddhist principles and can be a great starting point. Mindfulness. Try being more attentive to small things, how you brush your teeth, eat, or walk to work. This helps you slow down and connect with the moment. Ethical behavior. Ask yourself, do my actions help or harm? This might influence choices like using less plastic or being kinder in conversations. Compassion. Practice small acts of kindness. Smile at a stranger, help a coworker, or listen to a friend. These create a ripple effect of positivity. Accepting change. When things don't go as planned, remind yourself of impermanence. This helps you cope with disappointments. Why Buddhism matters for Americans. In America, where life moves fast and societal pressures run high, Buddhism offers tools for inner peace. Stress from work, social expectations, or digital noise has become the norm. But Buddhism teaches that happiness isn't about external achievements. It's a state of mind. Mindfulness and meditation practices have already woven their way into American culture. From corporate wellness programs to school curricula, Buddhism also addresses big questions. Why am I here? How do I find meaning? Its universal approach makes it accessible to people of any background, regardless of faith. Moreover, Buddhism provides an alternative to materialism. In a society where success is often measured by wealth or status, Buddhism reminds us that true happiness comes from freedom from endless desires. This is especially relevant in an era where social media creates illusions of perfect lives, leaving many feeling inadequate. Different schools of Buddhism. Buddhism isn't one size fits all. It's evolved into several schools, each with unique flavors. Here are three main ones. Theravada, the teaching of the elders. The oldest school, popular in Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, focuses on individual enlightenment through meditation and discipline. It's like classic Buddhism, strict and minimalist. Mahayana, the great vehicle, common in China, Japan, and Korea. Mahayana emphasizes compassion and helping others achieve enlightenment. A popular branch, Zen Buddhism, focuses on meditation and simplicity. Vajrayana, the diamond vehicle, found in Tibet, Mongolia, and the Himalayas. This school uses complex rituals, mantras, and visualizations. It's more esoteric, but practices like Tibetan meditation attract many in the West. Buddhism is a path to understanding yourself and the world through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. Its principles, like the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, offer practical tools for overcoming suffering and finding inner peace. For Americans navigating a fast-paced, often stressful world, Buddhism can be a source of inspiration and a way to find balance. Start small. Try meditation, practice kindness, or reflect on what truly makes you happy. Buddhism teaches that the journey to enlightenment begins with a single step, and you can take that step today. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us on the Zen Pulse channel. Your support inspires us to keep creating videos and sharing the wisdom of Eastern philosophy. If you enjoyed this dive into Buddhism, give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and let us know in the comments what you think about Buddhism or what topics you'd love us to cover next. Until next time, may your path be filled with mindfulness and harmony.